the reason why we're able to at a young age be able to make that much money is literally two things. So you need to have strategy and be intentional about planning, and then the other thing is monetizing attention. Right, so if you have the attention and then also the strategy behind it, that's what's allowed like literally everybody that I know that's either making 7 figures, 6 figures, be able to do that.
What's up, y'all? We're back with another episode. My name's Yanni. This is
Sean.
Hey y'all, I'm Jada.
And I'm Travion.
And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about how there's so many millionaires that are young. Like, it's a lot of Gen Zers out here spinning a bag, okay? Why do y'all think this is so, like, how do y'all think this is happening right now?
I think we all gotta answer. The opportunities are endless now.
Yeah.
Like content creation, you can, make connections, you can do network marketing, all that stuff. Like the opportunities are endless, and you don't have to be at a specific place in order to make money. You can do it while on the go. Yeah. So I think the opportunities are endless.
I feel like we're in an era of like following your purpose. People don't want to just do what pays the bills anymore, or like settle anymore. At least like people like you said in Gen Z, I feel like we're at a time where, okay, I want to do this for a living. I want to be a hairstylist. I want to be a fashion designer. Like I want to trade, like whatever the case may be. Like it's like, okay, I'm gonna do it then. And I feel like I'll say the benefit of like having social media is that we learn so much now. So it's like, oh, that's all you got to do to make $1 million. Okay, and so let's do it. And we don't have that fear because we're younger. Like typically people that are older, you have that fear. You're like reserved. You don't want to go after your dream. You don't want to go after your purpose. But we have like the faith, we have the knowledge, and that drive at such a young age, and like that fearlessness. I feel like that's really why we're seeing more young millionaires.
Yeah,
I feel like we're extremely rebellious. Like even for me, I was a very rebellious kid. So when it came to just going against the grain of like literally everything, whether it's, hey, I don't want to do my chores this way, let me do it this way, this is more efficient. Like for my parents, it's like, okay, bet I worked a job and I provided for you, but like, all right, I don't really want to do that, let me do it this way. And that way is entrepreneurship, right? So there's always like a different way, like, because their parents want us to all grow, like they want us to all be better and stuff like that. So, and the information, like you said, is so much more accessible now. It's so much easier. And the little component that we have that all of us, like most adults don't even have, is we don't have fear. Like when you're an adult and stuff like that, you now have bills, you now have kids, you now have responsibilities, you now have maybe like a husband, right? You have different things you have to take care of, right? With marriage and all these other things, right? We don't even have none of that. We literally jump off. I used to jump off stairs. I used to go do crazy stuff. Yeah, I broke my tailbone. It was crazy, like when I was younger. But I did all this stuff because I didn't have fear. But in order to, like, again, make a lot of money financially, you have to really get rid of that fear. And we don't have it, so it's so much easier for us to make money.
That's true. And I feel like people are realizing how easy it is to attain a large amount of people at one time. Like you don't have to go outside and go to a lot of people. Really, you could just have a post go viral, even though going outside is important too. But you can reach like millions of people off one viral post. And also I feel like since like even I know Trey Brown, right? He's so young and his clothing brand is doing really well. So I feel like some people who are young, it's like they showed it's possible. So now it's showing other people, okay, he did it, I can do it too. She did it, I can do it too. Because I know it's like that for me. I'll be on TikTok and I'll see all these 6-figure clothing brands and they're my age or younger or maybe a little older than me. So I'm like, bro, if they can do it, I could definitely do it.
Like literally Bryson and Anaya, like they're married in their 20 and they made $3 million last year. 3 point something million, 20 years old. And so I feel like we're seeing that it's possible. There's this girl that I'm cool with. She literally went from, she's like a year older than me, so she's like probably 25 right now. She went from like she had her first $1 million in a year, and then I want to say she started doing $1 million every 3 months. And last year on Black Friday, she made $1 million in a day selling hair oil. And so it's just like that's her only product. Literally, is hair oil.
That's dope.
And so it's just cool to see that like people our age are really out here, like chasing after their dreams, chasing after their goals, and like doing it well. For real.
Yeah, you have to understand that like you can make money different ways. Like people will post on their IG story and be like, I'm doing promo for $100.
Literally.
You keep it up there for you keep it up there for 24 hours and you make quick bread real quick. Like there's easy ways. I've like heard of like Don't Call Me White Girl. Like she said like she was struggling. She was on live. She just put her Cash App on there and she was just waiting to receive like a certain amount so that she could get food. Like you can make money quick. You just have to like be self-sufficient and like apply yourself. And also you want to show up every day if possible, or just show up consistently. Like have a consistent strategy of how you gonna present yourself on these platforms and let people know like I'm posting on this day, this time, I'm going live this time, I'm going here, I'm gonna be here, we're gonna do this. Like you got to be consistent and let your audience know what you're doing.
Emphasis on the strategy. Like I know Sean talks about that a lot. Like he gets on all of us, like have a plan. Like I told him my plan for 6 figures, and he was like, "That's not good enough." I was like, "That's not even." You was like, "That's not even specific enough." Like you said, "That's a dream." Like you said, "That's not even a plan." And I'm telling him, I'm thinking like, "Oh yeah, I have this all planned out." He's like, "No, like you need to go in depth more." So I feel like a strategy plays a big part.
By the way, like I don't be like, all right, y'all be thinking, okay, I don't want nobody to think like, oh, he's just. Dang, you don't believe in his dreams. But like it really be that like
from a place of love.
Yeah, facts. And also like because like I do the math in my head, like because I was going to ask y'all too, like because my point of view is the reason why we're able to at a young age be able to make that much money is literally 2 things. So you need to have strategy and be intentional about planning, and then the other thing is monetizing attention, right? So if you have the attention and then also the strategy behind it, that's what's allowed like literally everybody that I know that's either making 7 figures, 6 figures, being able to do that. But before I even go any further, I know Zell got a point too. I wanted to, pass it off to you too.
Oh yeah, man. Well, I honestly just wanted to say like content is king at this
point.
Facts.
No matter how old you are, what you do, whether you're a fashion model, whether you're a kid playing with a toy, like
facts.
You just gotta make content. And nowadays it just has to be dope, but at the end of the day, it's just all about making content.
It has to be
find your lane. Like, you don't want to copy somebody else's strategy because it may not work for you. And you're wondering, how am I posting so consistently and no results are coming out of it? Like, once you find something, then stick to it. Like, even like the public interviews, for perfect example, or even when I did like the wave check on my YouTube channel, like when you get those kind of videos and they blow up, you like you said, like right now you're taking a break from the public interviews, right? And so you don't want to like keep feeding them the same thing that you blew up off of, because now you put yourself in a box and then now that's all they want to see. So whenever you post something else, it's like, oh, I don't care about that. I want you to post this. So you gotta like, you gotta feed them what they want, but also feed them like with new stuff as well, and like just kind of play with it.
And also I wanted to say and add value too, like even if it's some like inspirational or entertainment or something of that nature. Because I remember when I first started my TikTok, I was posting and I wasn't really I was posting for my clothing brand, trying to promote it, Wise Label. And it wasn't really doing that well, and I was like, why isn't I doing well? But then I started promoting my brand message, right? And as soon as I started promoting my brand message and content that kind of surrounds around my brand message to like kind of branch off, that's when I started building a community. So I would say add value.
You said something funny. You said something that was very powerful, and I want nobody to miss it. Like consistency is key. Right, like consistency. Like you might say, like, oh, if I'm consistently posting, why is nothing happening? Like let's say somebody's been doing something for a year or 2 years consistently, and they're not getting the right result, right? And I was talking to y'all about it because y'all were consistently getting on a call, right? On book club and stuff like that. But I hopped on one time, and I was like, me. I was like, how can we be better? Like, how can we do this bigger and stuff like that? And the thing wasn't like the lack of consistency; it was consistency doing the wrong thing, or consistency doing not the most optimal thing.
That's true.
And that's what determines whether or not. Because again, like if someone's engineering, let's just say for example, some code for like a basic website for somebody, that they're going to make less money than somebody that's an engineer for Bitcoin or engineering something that's again of a higher value. So like if you're selling a business. You sell a business for $10,000, and let's say you get 10% of that, that's $1,000. But if you sell $100 million business, 1% of that is what? $1 million. You're still selling one thing, getting 10%, but it's just what are you doing and what are you consistently doing? That's what dictates how much you get in return.
wait, what were you about to say something?
Yeah, and the importance of consistency is if you already have an audience or you're starting to build that audience and they're starting to look for you to post, it's like, don't disappear, because now they're going to the next person who is consistent and they are showing up every single day or showing up at least once a week, twice a week. You have to figure out your strategy and stick to that. And like one thing I made a mistake with YouTube is I was just filming content in the moment. So I would film a video, wait for that video to go up, and then now I'm like, what else am I gonna post? Like, what's next? Whereas if you pre-film content, all that needs to be done is you figuring out which podcast episode, which video, which vlog is the best in this moment. If it's like the Super Bowl or if it's something related to something that's trending, it's like, all right, maybe this is best to post rather than posting a vlog about my self-care, like a self-care vlog. Like, it doesn't make sense in the moment.
Leverage what's going on.
Like leverage what's going on. Use the trending topics in order to get yourself out there. And the more people see you, like sometimes people may not click on the first video, but they keep seeing you and it's like, oh, I know them. I can, let me tune in finally because I keep seeing them over and over.
One thing that crossed my mind is, and I feel like we're all kinda in this place of like going through this lesson now, or at least you talk to us about it. It's like working smarter and not harder. I feel like I know for me personally, I feel like I have to be so involved in the business, and I realize like making 6 figures is super attainable. Making 7 figures is really attainable. Like, it's not something that really feels like, oh, that's so like far out of reach. But I always thought that like, oh, like I gotta do all this work, not sleep, not eat, not do nothing, and just like just do all this hard extra work to build this brand from the ground up. And one day I'm gonna get to my million. But it's like, no, that's actually really slowing me down. Like me trying to do every single thing is really slowing me down. And so it's just like, if you have the $1 million idea, all you need to do, and I guess whatever you're doing, it involves like a lot of tasks and things like that. I feel like you need to focus on like delegation. Like you need to start having other people come and take care of things for you. That way you could get to that $1 million faster and to that 6 figures faster.
You said something funny. I just thought of this too. Burning out won't get you to $1 billion. Right. Burning out, like, waste your energy and stuff like that. It's not productive. Right. The working class, literally, the people that work, they wake up, they have a 9 to 5. Right. They're only making a certain amount. And again, shout out to all those people. Right. Because again, they're putting in a certain amount of work. But again, it's not about what you're doing. It's about, well, actually, no, correction. It's not about how you're doing, like, because if you're waking up 40 hours a week and you're spending it at a job versus spending 40 hours a week on, let's say, $1 million project, right? There's going to be a different outcome, right? Because it's not about what you're doing. It's about what you're actually doing it in, right? So again, like, that's what matters.
Yeah. And I also wanted to say, when y'all were talking about consistency, it's important because it's like, when you're growing a friendship, right, you're going to spend time with each other a lot, right? And that's what builds the bond. That's how it is with content. Like, you want to put out a lot of content. It's going to build that bond and it's going to build that trust factor because they're seeing you a lot. That's why I don't know if y'all experience this, but like a lot of YouTubers and vloggers that I've been watching when I was younger, I feel like I know them. Like, they post, I'm like, oh, what they doing,
And then you want to buy into them. Like, you want to support anything that they do. Because, like, I've been watching you for years. You've been a part of my life, my childhood. So, like, I still want to buy into you now that I have the funds to invest into you and whatever it is that you're doing. And so, like, even with content, you have to, as far as delegation, you have to pretty much know what you're doing first, and then you can delegate. So like when you, for example, prime example of just like being a content creator, when you first start, you may start up with a phone and you may edit off that phone as well, and you may use a lamp in your house as a ring light and things like that. But then you start to build, you get a platform, and then now you get a camera, now you get a laptop. Now you're editing the videos on your laptop and your camera, and then moving forward, now you need a videographer, now you need an editor, and now they're doing the work for you, and all you have to do is just be the act and show up and be the entertainer for the videos.
But you're scaling up.
You're scaling up. You're working your way up.
I have a question for y'all. What tip do you guys have? Because all of us create some type of content. So what's a tip y'all have for people who are struggling with making content or struggling with being consistent, and just about content in general?
I would say don't get discouraged. you'll post and sometimes people will feel like I posted this video and nobody liked it. Now nobody wants to see my stuff. But it's not meant for everybody's not gonna like every single thing you post. You have to keep posting and see what sticks. So it's like this one video may get 2 likes and the next video may get 1,000 likes. That may be your biggest video. So it's like they're not gonna even pay attention to that. They're paying attention to the video that you posted that was well. But it's all about keeping the content consistent and not getting discouraged of, oh, like this didn't do well as I planned it to. It's never gonna go as you planned. Like the algorithms are constantly changing. You have to keep up with that. You have to pay attention to your data. It's like one thing I learned from the Social Proof podcast. I'm not sure the exact name, but basically like not checking your analytics and stuff and like just posting content, but not reviewing like how fast did this engagement go? Like what did this look like? How many shares did I get in different things like that? It's like you're just throwing something at the wall with a blind eye.
That's true.
Yeah. So you have to pay attention to your analytics, see what's working, see like what's the click-through rate on a video and different things like that.
Yeah. And then do more of what's working.
Yeah.
Definitely. This designer that I'm cool with, she had said something that I thought was like, I don't know, it just really resonated with me. But she was like, she struggled with being consistent with content for so long. And she was like, she had last year, she was like, she said this prayer and she was like, she kept saying, God, like make me consistent enough for people to notice my brand. And that was like her consistent prayer. Like just give me the motivation to be consistent enough for like my brand to reach the people that it needs to reach. And now like she was posting every day for a while. Now she doesn't necessarily need to post every day, but every time she posts now, she's built a whole audience, grew her platform to like 100,000 followers. Like now anytime she posts, it goes off, you know, because she decided like, okay, I'm about to spend this year being consistent every day and showing up and posting this content. And so I feel like that's like something that I thought was like super cool.
That's definitely key. Just to piggyback off what you said, because that was actually very important. Statistics, that data is so important. Like y'all know, I get so much about the data. So much. That stuff is very important. Like being a trader, like data is like literally my backbone. Like I have to understand what works and what doesn't, right? But also like along with trading as well, like I like relating everything back to trading, but like statistics and self. So you understand yourself and you understand the statistic, you understand the data. So with creating content, don't create content for other people. Create content that fits into who you are as a person and your morals. Because again, if you try to fit with a trend and you don't agree with it, right, then from there you're not going to be consistent with it and then you're going to fall off. It's easy because that's not something you believe in. But if you're talking about something you believe in or something that you agree with or something that you think about on a day-to-day consistent basis, you're never going to run out of stuff to say. The reason why, like even with this, like the podcast you're saying right now, we don't really like, oh, like we got specific notes and specific things to touch on for we just go and flow. Because this is something we're genuinely passionate about.
And so it sparks something every time.
It sparks something every time. As soon as you say something, I'm like, yo. Like literally what I'm saying right now is based on what they just said. So like literally just pay attention to yourself and then just make content based on what you believe. And then from there, just pay attention to the statistics. Pay attention to the statistics.
Yeah. I would say definitely being consistent with valuable content. I feel like that right there is what really pushed my brand, consistent with valuable content. Like I remember there was times I was posting like 5 to 10 times a day on TikTok. Like I was not playing at all. And it's like now look at my TikTok, it's like 50,000 followers. Like
I
don't even know, but like 1 million likes or whatever. And it's like you have to be consistent. Even like you said it earlier, when you feel discouraged, you just have to, it's just something you're doing that's wrong. You just have to figure out what you're doing that's not, maybe you're not adding value, or you're just I would say step out the box, add value, and be consistent.
And one thing with what Zell said, like you sparked something of how you were saying like content is king. So as having a creative agency, Royalty made it, and like I work with a bunch of different content creators. I will have in my mind when they like come and demand like, oh, I need this thumbnail ASAP, I need this video edited ASAP, but it's like you've been gone for 5 months. And so it's like, yes, the truth, but you also been gone for 2 years, 3 years. So what I had to realize this year is that I have to post content as well in order to motivate my clients and let them know like you have to stay on top of it. You have to stay in people's faces. There's so many people out here creating content, and if you just disappear, they're on to the next person. They're disappearing.
All right. So what would I do if I had to build my brand all over from scratch? Right. Like how would I build my community? How would I make money? Right. What would I do differently? How would I build a brand that influences my community? Okay. Well, I know you're not going to watch this video long enough for me to answer all 5 questions. So what I decided to do was create a 5-day workshop, okay? I'm going to be able to teach you this stuff over a 5-day period. I only need 60 minutes every single day for me to give you all the information on if I had to start my brand all over again. Now, the brand is built. We're building. And obviously, we want to get bigger, right? But we have created a nice, strong stream of income by building a brand. So on these 5 days to teach you exactly how I would build my brand today, okay? And we continue to build brands, so the stuff that I'm teaching actually works, okay? So listen, invest 5 days to get a lifetime return on your investment. Brand and influence. All right, let's get it.
Yeah. You say you have something?
Yeah, I got something to say. All right, now this is a PG 13 network, okay? We are adults, and I feel like we need to talk about attention seeking. All right, so you mentioned a lot of people on Instagram just not knowing what they are, who they are, and everything like that. Can you give me an example or tell me like why it's important to respect yourself, to have morals, to stay true to yourself? Because in my opinion, OnlyFans blew up. You know?
Facts.
I don't know why, but can you elaborate on that for me?
Yeah, it blew up. Like, and it's so funny because it blew up because, again, like we were talking, like me and Jada were actually talking about this too. Most people are so focused on pleasure and not purpose, right? So, for example, like with OnlyFans, it blew up because, again, there's a lot of people that's
feeding people's pleasure.
It's feeding people's pleasure. Like, I mean, think about it. Like, they're just getting satisfaction, a dopamine release, or like a feeling of like either validation or maybe just appreciation or something like that, right? They're getting a feeling from doing it, right? They're willing to literally pay money to get some type of appreciation or feeling inside of them rather than focusing on their purpose, right? Instead of putting money towards pleasing themselves, they could put it towards their purpose. They can put it towards chasing their dreams. They can put it towards that. But because they don't have a sense of self, it becomes very, very, very difficult to do that. And again, I can attest to that too. Like, it's kind of hard, but it's necessary.
Yeah. And I've seen like you said, like attention seeking, like I've seen people, they'll post like very vulgar pictures and like, but then it's like when people come at you that way in person and stuff, you don't like that. So it's like, why do it anyway? Like, just be yourself. Like, you don't got to show your body in order to get attention.
But why are they doing that though?
I mean, that could be a whole bunch of different reasons. But I feel like they're treating their appearance like a business. Like they're running it just like how we run our own businesses for real. Just like how we have to invest in our businesses to grow, they are investing in their appearance, whether it's a BBL, whether it's a bunch of clothes, whether it's the makeup or the hair or whatever the case. Like, they're treating it as like a business for real. Like, I have to invest in my appearance so that way I can make money.
That's crazy.
And some people, they have the privilege. Like, they have the privilege that they look that good that they can just make money with their body that way. You know, like, that's their own version of being a content creator. I don't understand. Well, I don't even want to say I don't understand why.
I feel like it's different for everybody.
It's different for everybody.
On the Finessers Club podcast, which is crazy because I just watched it, but he was doing a podcast with a girl. Her name is Chris, and like she does like I've known her on Instagram, and she was saying like how she getting her body done was an investment, like, you know, getting her nose done was an investment because she got in so many fights and different things. And not to get too explicit into what she was doing with OnlyFans, but she was just saying like, you know, she was collabing with girls and she wasn't actually doing the stuff that it looks like they're doing on camera, but she was like, this is a business. She was like, I'm doing this for business. And like, you know, y'all could watch that episode because like Zell said, this is like PG-13. Won't get too much into it.
Like, it could be a lot of things.
We ain't doing that social proof.
That's not the type of proof we showing. But validation. Like, I think the thing that I see, like, most of the time it is like validation, but they also could be business. Like, there's multiple reasons. Like you said, there's so many different rabbit holes to go down. But the whole thing is we're doing it. Or they're doing it. Not we're doing it.
Maybe because it's like it's an easy way out.
It's an easy way out. That's
like,
true.
I feel like it's easier to keep yourself looking good and like creating content like that than to like that's their way of, you know what it just made me think of?
Yeah.
So there's an opposite side to everything, right? Like there's a good, there's a bad.
Yeah.
We are providing value to our audiences, but for them, they are providing value to their audiences.
I was going to say that.
There is a need, and they are providing that value. Doesn't mean it's necessarily right, but it's like there's opposite sides to everything. So it's like they're literally treating it like how we treat our businesses for real.
That's why I said it's not bad.
It's just finding your way to get it. Like even David and Donnie, they talked about this on a podcast of like Bad Baby. I think that's her name.
She made like a couple million.
Yeah, like she made. And she's like
a lot of millions.
A lot of millions.
Yeah, okay.
She had to don't play with her.
No problem.
Yeah, she had like the top ranking.
Okay,
And so like it's like as soon as she turned 18, she had an audience that want to buy that. Yeah. And so it's like she's just playing her cards right. She like, all right, this is the way that I'm gonna get to it, and I'm gonna provide for myself and whoever it is else that she wants to provide for. Right. And so it's like you said, it's just a business for them, and that's their lane.
Yeah, and I would say it's already an audience for that.
Yeah,
like, it's a large audience for that. Like if you get this done, you get that done. Boom, you get posted on this blog, you get posted on that blog, and it's a trend out there too that seems like it's easy to, you know what I'm saying, stay up with that.
Yeah.
But I feel like you should make content based on who you are, like based on your values. You know, like what are your values? Who are you at the core? Like for instance, like I fear God, so I wouldn't post something that doesn't align with what he says or who I am, who he made me to be. So I feel like it really just depends on your values.
That's why I said it's not bad to do it, like, because again, like if you are doing it, that's fine. Like it's nothing wrong with it necessarily. It's only wrong. It's all of it's like subjective. Like, but again, like my job isn't to judge. Like even with y'all, like my job isn't to judge. It's just to explain the reality. Right. So you can, like some people, like you said, the reason it's valuable or they're getting paid a lot is because there's an audience for it. Right. So again, it's not about what you do. It's about, all right, bet. What are you doing? Cool. Now the layer behind it, like I said, statistics. So statistically speaking, you're making a lot of money from it. But the second thing itself, is this aligning with who you are? Is this your purpose? Because again,
exactly. That's what I say. I just feel like that is not.
If it is your purpose,
intended purpose.
If it is, then fine. Because again, there might be those few people that it is their purpose.
It's
but if
your
it's not,
intended purpose to make money off of your body in that way by sharing your body with the world.
So.
Some people are like that. Some people, I mean, again,
but
not everybody,
but how you're saying is some people are like that. They're like that because they made the choice, not because that's their purpose.
Okay.
Right. Yeah,
that's true.
Like we were all created to have a purpose. Yeah. And what happens is a lot of people, if you choose not to operate in your purpose, you end up what's the best way to, it's like you're out of order, like you're not functioning correctly. And so it's just like, you may think, well, like I'm working and things are working out, like by me doing this work things are working out, but things could be working out even better by you like walking in your purpose. And I also feel like it's like viewed as like I said, like easy money. Like you're focused on the money. Like, all I have to do is X, Y, and Z, and I get paid. But why not all I have to do is X, Y, Z when it comes to my purpose, and then I will get paid from that, you know?
It's the same amount of effort. Like if you're putting your money into your body, you could be building something that you could pass down. You know what I'm saying? You can't pass down your body. You could pass down a business and something you've built. So it's more sustainable and it's better for longevity. You're not going to look the way you look now. When you're 80, bro, your booty might be sagging. I don't know. But
But that's true though. Like that was actually a really good point. And I'm glad we had, that exchange. But that's actually perfect that you said that, because again, that might not be their purpose, but they think it is their purpose because of like certain things that they're not getting. So for example, if you're not getting validation at home, if you lost somebody that was giving you that validation or that that attention, right? Now you're going to seek it from somewhere else. Because again, like if we don't get food from one place, we're going to find it from somewhere else. Like that's just how we are.
Even if you're just experiencing a lot of lack, people make crazy decisions when they have nothing.
Exactly. Like if you're desperate.
I was stealing what's it called, fruit roll-ups in like second grade because I didn't have no money for fruit roll-ups. But on a bigger scale though, for real, like facts. You will do whatever you have to do.
That's true.
Like like if you're, especially like if your values aren't all the way there, you're going to do what you have to do to make some money. And if you see like, oh, like all I have to do is this. And even it can start off small. Like it can start off small, like, oh, I'm just going to wear some really fitted clothes that show my body off well. And it's like, oh, you start getting some attention from that. Maybe certain brands start reaching out. Then it's like, oh, like these brands may say, oh, can you like wear a little bit less clothes? Start doing lingerie,
Pose
right?
Like
And then from there,
offer you a sponsorship on OnlyFans.
Exactly. So then it like it just progresses into something even more that probably may have not been what they originally intended.
What is going on, family? Look, I got a special gift for you. Okay, not only am I going to invest 5 whole days in to help you build your brand, build your influence, I'm going to do something even crazier. I don't even know why I'm doing it. I don't get it. But listen, I'm going to give it to you anyway. I want to offer you a chance to get mentorship and coaching by me and other industry experts every day, Monday through Friday, for a whole hour of change. Listen, on top of that, I want to invite you to an in-person event where we get together with hundreds of other entrepreneurs for free. Okay? And to make sure you execute, I'm going to do a live Q&A session where you get to answer questions and I give you answers, and you get to learn from other people's questions and answers as well. Listen, I told you it's a crazy gift, but you can get all of that for right now for only $3.99 for the year. Okay, that's cheaper than any course, that's cheaper than any conference. 22 days every single month of coaching, mentorship, connection with a community, all for $3.99 for the entire year. Look, click below to take advantage of this right now. I will see you in the morning. Let's get it, fam.
But then you had those dollar signs in your face, and it's like we're saying, like a Gen Z becoming millionaires. There's a lot of Gen Z OnlyFans people that are millionaires. And so it's just like, I feel like that's just a different perspective.
And then I think you even mentioned, well, both of y'all, like it comes from a place where you're lacking, right? And I feel and I feel like, especially if you don't know where that wound is or where that lack is coming from, then you're just going to be acting out of, okay, what can I do right now to fulfill where I'm lacking at inside?
Oftentimes I feel like people, it's not the fact that they don't know, it's that they choose to like sweep it under the rug and hide it and bury it and forget about it and not remember it. So it's like, I'm gonna just work my way, I'm gonna just live life this way because it's what's getting me by. So I feel like it's at first I thought it was subjective as to like that's what they do and that's what like this is what we do, because I thought like, oh, like, well, some people may look at this like as if this is corny to sit here and talk about like just being a better version of yourself. Whereas they're like, look how fast I can make money this way though. And y'all sitting here like just talking and doing this. So it's like, it's subjective, but it's also like, it's mixed in with a little bit like, I'm not happy, but this is working. So I'm gonna just keep moving with this.
And sometimes what's working won't work later on. And it's not what you actually want to do anyway. Because like I said, like the reason I was being subjective and I was saying like it is subjective and I was kind of playing on both sides is because again, like in the society that we're in, everything is opinionated now. Literally, like everything is opinionated. But at the same time, I know the reality. But at the same time, like
it's like you really want to play both sides.
I want to play both sides because at the same time, like actually, matter of fact,
because people get offended.
We're gonna be transparent. My belief system is like this. If you're doing that, it's not because like, okay, you really want the money. If you're doing it for money, right? You're doing that because of something that you lack. Or if you want money, okay, bet I'm gonna do it this way because it's easier, right? Even though it's not the right way to do it, I'm gonna still do it this way. Just like some people might rob, some people might steal and stuff like that. It's not right, but they're gonna do it because that might be fast money. But the same way, fast money isn't best money. Just because you can get it quickly doesn't mean the quicker you get it, the quicker it'll leave. That's just how everything in life works.
I feel like with content, you have to push your narrative.
That's true.
What is it that you stand by and that you believe in, and that when people come to watch you, they know what to expect and they want you to expound on that. So for example, Kevin Samuels, rest in peace to him, but like he had like people really like fueled up about like the topics that he talked about and like women angry at him, but it was his narrative, is what he believed in. He was gonna stand by it no matter what anybody thought. And so you just have to figure out your narrative, stick by it, and like if that's really what you believe in, then that's what you believe in, and you'll begin to find people just like you. There's so many people in the world.
No matter what you do.
Yeah, like no matter what you do, there's so many people in the world. You're gonna find your audience, and they're gonna begin to grow because they're gonna refer you to this person. Oh, you know this person, you know him. Like yeah, he's doing this, she's doing this. Like, and it just keeps going from there. But you have to stick with a narrative and stand by it. And so like, even like. What is y'all like?
I want to answer that real quick. Yeah. I was gonna say that. Yeah, I agree. Push the narrative that resonates with you, because if you don't, then it's like you're gonna have to keep up a persona about you that's not you, and then you're gonna get tired, and then it's like you're over here trying to keep this up on a social media presence, but it's like behind it's like that's not really who I am. Now you're annoyed when people come up to you and they tell you to do that thing that they see you to do and stuff like that. So
go to Marcus. What is y'all like content strategy? Because when I say like push a narrative or push a narrative, create a niche and stick to it. Like Justin LeBoy, he literally has one niche, and that's posting quotes, and that goes up like it gets hundreds of thousands of likes. And
too.
Yeah, Mahadi Water. That's it's Mahdi or Mahadi?
It's Mahdi.
Mahdi. Okay.
Mahogany.
My bad.
Mahogany is crazy.
You want to say Mahadi Ali?
But now, like, what's a niche or what's y'all niche, y'all content strategy? How many times do y'all post a day and stuff like that? Like I said, Justin LeBoy, like his stuff gets shared all the time, and all he's doing is posting quotes.
I'm really still figuring that out. I just got to the point where I'm posting one time a day, but I do want to increase it. But I feel like, so my struggle with content is, since I say I want to have like the next black owned Gucci or however you want to say it, I think, well, when I think about content, I'll go look at Gucci's page and I'll say, well, how does Gucci do their content? Like they produce like high quality content. So of course, like what I like to do is produce high quality content, like great photos and great videos, but that costs money. Like my birthday shoot, I spent $1,000 for a high fashion editorial shoot. A shoot I just did earlier this month, I spent $600 for that. But doing those constantly, like it adds up, you know? And so, and then I also see like, when it comes to Instagram, you don't have to do that. Like the simplest stuff, a 5-second video can do well, but then I'll think like, but it doesn't align with my aesthetic. Like I want, when people come to my page, I want them to think luxury. I want them to think high fashion. I want them to think elevated. And so it's like, I'm trying to find that balance. And I feel like right now I'm just like testing stuff out, like every day, like trying to put out like a different type of post. I posted something, I think earlier this week. My day's mixed up, but I posted something earlier this week, and it was like a reel about how I dropped out of college, and it just talked about my journey. And that was like one of my first posts that did really well in a while since coming back on Instagram. So I'm just like trying to figure out, you know, like what works, what doesn't, and then whatever I feel like sticks, and I just stay consistent with that.
I feel like mine is just the realistic side of trading in a simple way. Right, because most people, like when it comes to trading and stuff like that, even with like, you know, I trade options mainly and futures, but like people might say, oh, Forex is a scam and stuff like that. These markets in itself are not a scam. There's businesses that are behind it, and people, like specific people that they might pay for that might do them wrong. Right, so what I want to do is like highlight the reality of how trading actually is, and then from there, how to make it simple enough for you to actually get inside of it.
I have a question about that. So you know how during the pandemic and stuff, people were pushing the narrative of like Forex trading and stuff? Yeah. What was that like exactly?
Yeah, so that was for everybody that says like, oh, you know, trading is a scam and stuff like that, or trading is like, I don't want to do that, it's a scam. So here's what trading is. Trading is essentially saying, all right, bet I'm going to trade, let's say, this watch for that bracelet. All right, bet there's an exchange of value there, right? So instead of these watches or these bracelets, I'm just trading different currencies or a stock or a business, right? So I might trade my business for your business, right? So we just traded each other's businesses, right? I'm just changing the unit in which I'm using, right? That's all trading is, right? So trading in itself is just a market, right? So just like we have the dollar, we have, when you go to Europe, there's the euro, then they have yen, like all these different currencies and stuff like that, right? So that's the foreign exchange market, because there's foreign countries that have different exchanges where you can exchange currency, right? That's all it is. So Forex in itself is a real market. Now, obviously, it's manipulated because they have, robots and stuff like that. It's not humans all trading it, but there's robots and stuff like that. Like they have programs, computers, we're in the internet stage. So we have that now, AI, they have that stuff now, right? So it's still real, but again, it's just, electronic.
Yeah,
right?
AI getting scary.
AI is getting very scary.
Like
they trying to take the editing over.
But the reason it was called a scam is because of a company called I Am Academy, right? So I Am Academy.
I almost fell for that.
Yep.
Me too. Literally, this girl hit me up from back home. Like, bro, this girl.
Everybody but I Am Academy essentially is a multi-level marketing company, right? And the goal of the way that it works is essentially you pay, somebody will basically, you get underneath somebody, right? Let's say you pay, I think it's $200 a month.
$200 something a month.
Yeah, $200 a month to get let's say a mentor in the space of trading, right? Mm-hmm. So what they do is they say, okay, bet it's $200 a month, but you can waive the fee if you get 3 more people. So if you sign 3 more people up underneath you, then from there you waive the fee. So so your focus might be trading at first, right? But again, if you waive the fee now, so you hire 3 people, now let's say there was one person that got 3 people, and then those 3 people got 3 more people. That's 10 people now.
Pyramid
so literally
scheme,
it's a whole, it literally creates a pyramid,
Crazy.
right? So pyramid scheme, right? But it's not necessarily like a pyramid scheme. I'll say it's a business model that people don't like, and I don't like it either.
Yeah.
I respect it. Only reason I don't respect it is because there's nothing wrong with waiving a fee for bringing people up, but at least teach them the skill.
Yeah.
They don't teach, not everyone in I Am Academy, or most people in I Am Academy, don't really teach the skill of trading, the actual thing of it. They're just doing it as a business. They just motivating, telling people oh yeah, you can do this, you can do that, and stuff like that, but they don't give you no game, no information on practical stuff to do, and that's what I hate about it, right? The business model in itself is a good business model, but it's not a reliable, reputable one because the people that come under it, they don't actually know the skill, and trading actually takes a very long time. I just started getting to a point where I figured out, okay, my problem was I need to practice more, and I need to start analyzing my data, and then from there start tweaking some things. I learned that this is 2 years I learned this. People that just started out I'm about to learn trading, they're spending $200 a month. Why? You're spending $200 a month, you're not going to learn it, but they tell you that, they try to do this because that's just the business model. So trading in itself is not a scam. The business I Am Academy and also other multi-level marketing companies that try to get you to pay a certain fee a month just don't do it, most likely because it's most likely not going to be beneficial.
I Am Academy was pushing C.
It was pushing crazy.
They was pushing a code.
It was pushing crazy. And I almost fell for it too.
Yeah, they were dang near brainwashing people.
Exactly.
You're not gonna be successful if you don't join this. You're not gonna be successful. You're sitting on your couch, sitting at home, procrastinating, all this stuff.
Thinking maybe I'll do it today. Maybe I'll do it the next day.
Yeah, I'm bro, relax.
That motivation, but again, they monetize. Again, when it comes to content, the reason why we're good content creators is because of communication. They have a really good ability to communicate. They just did it again.
They had Zoom calls, all of that.
It's so funny because we were just talking about God and the devil, right? So the thing is God and devil both have the same amazing voice to be able to manipulate you to do certain things that you need to do, right? Either in a positive, not manipulate. I won't say manipulate.
God and manipulate.
The devil manipulates, right? Because he controls you and he'll tell you what to do that you don't want to do. God helps you see what you really can do, right? In terms of impacting people and at least providing value to people, right? But at the same time, those are both the same thing on the opposite ends of the spectrum. The devil can still speak to you in a way that can get you to think negatively, but God can also speak to you in order to think powerfully, right? So again, the same way they do that, they have a voice, right? So the way that they're using the voice, it might not be in the best way. But they're still using it to push a bad agenda. So again, it's just up to our ability. You still have to take accountability. You still have to be able to see through that stuff, though. That's the biggest thing.
That definitely changed my perspective. What's your
I'm gonna go into my content. So for TikTok, I kind of just record and post. TikTok is more whatever I'm feeling in a moment. But for Instagram, I do promotional. I call it grassroots, and then I do inspirational and entertainment. So that way I'm kind of touching all spaces. So promotional, I have a clothing brand. Well, I sell clothes through my brand. So promotional is me pushing my brand message and showing the clothes I have and stuff like that. And then grassroots is my content of me actually getting out there. So my public interview videos, and I'm gonna start doing other content where I'm giving people inspirational notes and really getting out in the community. That's my grassroots. And then inspirational, I do videos of me like saying a Bible verse and then kind of interpreting it. And then I'll post inspirational quotes. I'll say 5 ways for this and kind of stuff on that line. That's inspirational. And then the last one is entertainment. So I'll post like Christian memes, and then I'll also repurpose other people's funny content that I'll see on TikTok and stuff like that. So that's what those are like the 4 types of content I post.
I would say for me, I still have been trying to differentiate like how you have like 2 pages, like
3.
3?
Yeah.
And it just gets more and more difficult the more you try to create new pages. Like, why not just focus on at least 1 or 2 that you can go all in? So like I've been trying to just differentiate, like separating Royalty Made It and Royal Travion, because Royalty Made It, like I said, I picture it will be a household name, and so like I won't be the face all the time on there. Like I want to like post like before and afters, all of that stuff, testimonials, different things like that. So I'm not pushing to be the face on there. I just want that to excel in a way that I already have the vision for it. And so I just have to start releasing content on there. Now for my personal brand is like stuff like this, motivational stuff, inspirational stuff, like telling you my hardships, telling you my struggles of how I got through things, and telling you why you shouldn't quit and different things like that. Like people have commented or DM me and said like, I'm glad you're posting and different things like that. And so also what I'll say is with your content, if you're not posting content, nobody really knows what you do.
Nobody doesn't know.
You have to post the content, and it's like when they come up to you, they're like, what do you do again? Like you do what? Like and like you do what? Like you do clothes. You, like what do you do? And so like it's like you have to post the content consistently, so everyone, all of you may have 3,000 followers, not even half of them will see that, just the way the algorithm is set up. So you have to keep feeding them, and that's why it's no reason to get discouraged or focus on like, oh, this didn't get that many likes. It's because the algorithm isn't always pushing out every single video or piece of content that you post, and that's why you have to keep releasing content over and over.
It's kind of like, for instance, I don't know if y'all watch TV anymore, but I kind of don't, but I'm just gonna use this as an example. Fox 5, for instance, right? That's a channel on TV. They're always, it's basically content that they're posting on their channel, right? Always posting content, and it's like, imagine if they didn't post it and you're scrolling through the TV, and normally you tune in to Fox 5, you don't see it no more. Then that person will be like, oh, they're not here anymore, but I guess I'll watch something else. That's kind of how it is for right now for us. We have to consistently be in front of people, so that people are like, let me tune in. But if they have nothing to tune into, then it's like they're gonna forget about you. They don't care anymore. When you're not
posting, it's like you telling them like, make it enough.
Literally,
you really gotta keep posting. Like there's no stopping. And even for me, like within the end of January and just this last week, I stopped the whole week of posting. But the gap that I need to fill is I need to start delegating the work. Is because and the reason why I like kind of get stuck at like, should I post, should I not, is because I have clients that need their orders, and so it's kind of I find it kind of disrespectful if it's like I'm posting and like it's like, where's my order though? You haven't finished this. And so it's just about like being like professional about it. And like I said, like I'm working on communication and different things like that. So it's just, that's the reason why I post it. But I know for sure, like Monday starting, I need to post and get back consistent and not make excuses for it.
I kind of, not really this, it's kind of the same thing. Like I'm managing a lot, right? So it's kind of gets difficult to stay consistent with posting content, because I'm like, I got all this other stuff I got to do too, right? So then it goes to like, okay, how can I make it work? Okay, bet. I don't have the schedule feature on Instagram yet, but this is something I'm realizing I could just download an Instagram posting app that'll download that posts for me, right? Nice. So then it just comes to, okay, bet I can bulk record and make all my content on Sunday and Saturday, and then schedule it out. That way, all throughout the week, I don't have to worry about, oh, did I post? Because I create a system for that,
Yeah, and that's why it's always good to have stacked content, is because you want as you plan your day or your week, it's not gonna happen exactly as you plan it. Like something may come up, you may get sick, a family member may need you to like be present for them. Like you may have a business opportunity. Like literally when we started the podcast, we had to shoot the next day. You had to drive all the way out here. So it's like, stuff happens and you just have to have stuff to pull in order to still show up no matter what. Like there's no excuses for us not showing up and posting every week, having a podcast episode released every week. So we have to do batch content and we have to have topics lined up, and we don't have an outline. We're having an organic conversation right now about content, and it's just, you have to have that stuff packed up so that you can move forward and post every time when it's needed. There's no excuse. There's no saying, oh, I can't post because I can't do this, because like, stop making excuses.
Just figure out how you can make it work.
Figure out a way.
You can make it work.
Yeah, like matter of fact, it was so funny because I just sent you a video from Alex Hormozy.
Oh yeah,
and I've been going through his. I sent all of y'all that.
Yeah.
But I've been going through his content. Like, it's so funny because with him, I was realizing that I was binging his content. Like, because usually I was in a phase where it's like, oh, I don't want to binge content, binge TV and stuff like that, because, you know, TV's bad and all that stuff, or they're not talking about something that's helpful for me. Right. But he provided so much content. I have to binge watch his like all the videos he has on entrepreneurship, business, sales, all that stuff, right? So I'd be binge watching it just to see like the value that I can get from it, right? But like you literally want to create your own show.
That's
like
the goal.
Reality show where people can literally
binge-worthy content.
Yes, they're like waiting for the next season.
That's how I started with the Social Proof podcast. I met him on what's the app, the Clubhouse.
Yeah.
That's how I met Dave, and so I didn't follow him or anything. But like he started popping up in my algorithm because of my data. Like they see you looking on this person page and stuff, and so I literally clicked on one video with him and Donnie, and then after that, I'm sitting here watching every single episode, and I'm like, bro, like I'm inspired, and then it just turned into something else, and we could get into how we all met Dave and stuff in the future. And so the one thing you reminded me of about like having people being able to binge watch content. The fact of how I was saying where I got like stuck, like, oh, like I'm posting one video and then now I got to figure out what else to record. It's like, you don't want to instantly blow up. You don't want to instantly have like a video that goes crazy, because you want to build and show people that you've been doing this consistently, and that when you do have a video that blows up, they can go back. So even if they do have to wait like a day or two for content to be posted, they can still watch other videos because you already been putting in the work.
And then I also want to go to, you said that you were watching his content and then you felt inspired. It's because it was valuable. Like when people finish watching your content, how do they feel? Do they feel, ooh, this was funny? Or, oh, I want to go, I feel inspired, you know, like, oh, this gave me knowledge, like I needed to know this. Like what type
has
of,
to be intent.
Exactly. Even as simple as an aesthetic, like there's people that just post their food, but it's because it looks good and it makes people feel a certain type of way.
Make me feel good.
So it's like, what type of value are you adding? And then also, you don't need like fancy equipment either. You could start with what you have. You could, if you have an Android, start with an Android. If you have an iPhone, you don't need a camera. Start with what you have.
No excuses. Like there's no excuses why you can't record.
They got
content.
free apps. You don't have free apps. You don't need all of the features. They got different things that you can use. Like
should we give them the game?
Is the biggest.
I was about to say,
I'm
like,
gonna give them the
just
game.
dropping it like,
if y'all want to work with Royalty Made It, you know, just hit my DM. Like, so like CapCut, like that's a way to edit. That's a feature that everyone have been able to use. It's
captions, video
so
lead,
easy.
Captions,
all of that.
I don't know about that one.
It's so many apps that you can use, and so we giving you the game, but like you can also work with me. You can work with Yanni. Like there's different ways that you can. You don't have to do it. If you don't know how to do it, invest into somebody that can do it, that already knows what they're doing. And so now, and also another thing, when I want to backtrack on saying invest into somebody, because sometimes you're premature before investing. So you'll have a YouTube channel, but you're not monetized. So now you're about to spend the money that you've worked hard on, and you're about to invest. You can invest it into your dreams, but don't like pay for an editor when you have the time to edit. The time is being lazy.
Like you're not even famous on YouTube.
Like what do you need an editor for?
Pay for an editor when you literally can't. You don't have no more time. When all your time is exhausted and literally like you probably lose a client. You gotta now it's time to do it. Because at that point if you're giving that much value, then most likely you're making enough money to go hire an editor. Anyway.
And the thing is, like one thing I'll say, like me and Ashawn have worked on multiple projects for like things that you're hosting, like a course, an ebook, different things like that. It's like, you know the apps. But it's like, all right, but you already know the skills. So it's like, why not you just pay me to do it and like we get it done rather than you trying to figure it out. And maybe that's not what you want to learn. Like it's just something like, all right, I'm gonna just support my friend's business and like pour into that rather than me trying to waste time trying to figure out how to do it.
And I'll say this too. No, ladies first.
Okay, I was gonna say I lost my train of thought,
bro. I'm sorry. But I was going.
Oh my god.
I was gonna shout y'all out because I'm like, yo, like you said, like I would rather pay you just to have the specific thing done because, like, again, where my time is going is towards trading, is towards like educating myself constantly. So I already know, like, all right, bet if I paid you to learn it, I'd have to pay more than me paying you to actually do it. Right. So like, if they even want to, because at the end of the day, you pay more. Like, let's say I pay $1,000 to learn how to make thumbnails that are worth like $100. Like you do, like you make some crazy thumbnails, right? Yeah. So again, like I'd rather just say, all right, bet I'll pay you this, whatever it is. All right, bet let's get this done. Let's get this created and stuff like that, right? Because I know the value in it, and I also know that where I am in my business and where I am, I'm like, all right, bet I don't got the time to learn this, so I just got to pay out, right? But I know that.
And I was gonna say, even if you don't know how to use CapCut and captions and you don't know how to post on TikTok, you don't really know how to use Instagram, you can really, I'm pretty sure, like, you can definitely learn. Literally just search up how to use CapCut, how to use captions, how to post on TikTok, you know, how to use the features on Instagram. And it's literally so simple. Like, there's been so many times I've showed people how to do certain things on like Premiere or something, and they'll be like, it may seem intimidating at first, but it's really just a skill set to learn, and it's super easy too. And
the one thing I want to go back to the part of like investing into somebody who already knows how to do it. As a creative of like doing clothes and stuff, or even with us doing like clips and editing, I do thumbnails and different things like that. Like, don't penny pinch a creative. If you're paying for something, pay for the person that's going to actually give you the best service. I've had clients where they'll come to me after they already got burnt because either somebody didn't do the design, the thumbnail for them, or they paid for a thumbnail and they were trying to penny pinch and pay a low price just to get something that they didn't even really like. And now you're coming to me to try to fix the problem and resolve it. And so it's like, just from jump, just already invest into somebody that you know is going to do well. Like, don't try to penny pinch. Don't penny pinch on your dreams. Facts. If you don't want nobody else to penny pinch on your dreams, don't do it to yourself.
Because you're allowing it to build your attention anyway. So they got it like the same way we got it. If you don't pay, you won't pay attention. For them as a creator, is if you don't pay, you don't get attention. Right. So if they don't pay you what you worth, you might not have them as a client. It's like, hey, I just can't. This is my price, and this is the value that I have, and this is who I've helped, and this is who I worked with. Like, you work with some crazy people. That they've literally done hundreds of thousands, millions of views on their thumbnails and stuff like that. And it's not about just a thumbnail, it's a first impression. Like, they're paying for that value. Change the way. It's not, you don't do thumbnails, you do first impression.
Right. And also another thing, like, of planning ahead.
Please plan ahead.
Plan ahead for the creators. Like, stop coming. You need a thumbnail in 5 minutes and you want me to get it done.
Facts.
And you like make this the best thumbnail you ever made, bro. How?
No, for real. Like, you need a dress and you want to
talk on that. Matter of fact, let's get into that, because like we seem cool right now recording this podcast, but like, talk about like what you're working on right now. Like, you still gotta.
Well, I don't want to expose my client.
Not the client, but like what you're in terms of like.
Oh, but yeah, I'm working on some dresses for award shows, but it's like I already have a lot on my plate, like a lot in my schedule. So when people come to me like, oh, like I want something last minute, it's like, okay, now you knew you had this event like a whole month or two ago.
It'd be a big event. Like, it don't be no regular event. It'd be a big event.
Yeah, like, oh, I'm going to the billboards. Can I get a dress tomorrow? Like, what?
The billboards. Like, I'm not gonna say names. But like big, like, again, big people. Like, they know in advance. But at the same time, that last minute stuff, like for content for an amazing dress, right? Like, they gotta prioritize that. Like, even if they want something from me or something like that, like, you can't be last minute with it.
Yeah, like, it'll be an hour vlog and somebody's like, "Can you get this done in 24 hours?"
It just doesn't make sense.
That'd be the thing.
Like, you act like. Yes, we work hard on our brands and our businesses, and we stay up late nights and we're grinding every day and we're doing this and we're doing that. We're here, we're there. But it's like plan ahead the same way. Like, I've learned to begin to say no, because your emergency isn't mine. Like, I don't have to drop everything in the instant of a heartbeat just because you decided not to plan ahead. Like, 9 times out of 10, you knew that it was coming. So why not just send it to me earlier so that we can think through this, we can process this, and it may not be the exact thing that you wanted created because we're rushing now.
Facts. Like, and I was just thinking about this too. just to paint the picture, like some people might work a 40-hour work week, right? So we all have 24 hours in a day. So imagine putting a 40-hour work week into 3 days.
Yeah.
So now you got 40 hours. So you got 72 hours to do it in 3 days. You can do it. Do the 40-hour shift in 3 days. And then from there, but like that's the thought process behind it. You can because you have the 72 hours, but is it optimal?
It's stressful. You don't get no freaking
exactly.
Like
they'd be like, oh, well, it's just a thumbnail. It's just a dress. Well,
it's just that because
why aren't you doing it?
Exactly.
Just the
like
dress.
you can't, they couldn't do it with their specific, and some people can't do that with your job, but like just saying for everybody, like 40 hours in a week versus 40 hours within 3 days is completely different. It's the same time frame, but just crunched. Like that's stressful. That will literally cause you to burn out. Like you got to think about that.
Yeah.
All right, so I got a final question for you.
Okay.
I kind of want to see how you all think. So Trey mentioned investing in yourself, making sacrifices, and doing all of those things. What do you think is more important, having yes men in your corner or going on a journey alone?
Could you repeat that question, please? Yeah, it gotta sink in. Like
we talked about investing in yourself, making sacrifices, especially with content. Like you have to really lock in. Sometimes do it on your own. Do you think it's important to have yes men in your corner, or do you think that you should do it alone?
Actually, I have something to say to that. So I always like to tell people I used to really suck, right? And so I was not
the way you said
because it's like it's the truth. Like
it's
I was
true,
not a good designer. And I feel like my friends should have, well, some of them did say you're not that good, but I feel like some used to be like, oh, that's cute. And or like, oh, these pictures are nice. My photo shoots were ugly, and I thought I was doing something, but y'all didn't want to tell me the truth that I wasn't doing nothing. So it's like I had to figure it out on my own. Like it took self-awareness for me to be like, well, look at this person content. My pictures don't look nothing like theirs. Like I'm taking pictures in the corner of my living room, like, and they doing like a whole produced photo shoot. Even when I did do big productions, or not big productions, but when I would put in the effort to do a actual photo shoot, it was still trash because it was like not really any vision behind it, or like not a real, like no real intention behind it. And so nobody was telling me though, like no one was giving me like honest feedback. And so it took, like I said, self-awareness, and I wish people would have told me like, hey, you should do your content like this, you should do your content like that, instead of me just still doing the same stuff over and over and over.
I know for me, like I have friends around me that'll be like, that's nice, but you could do better. Like I've created some clothing designs, and I've sent them to my friends, and they'll be like, I feel like you could do better, So I feel like it's based off of what that person can see in you. So if all they know is and all they've seen is the basic, then off of their judgment, you did pretty good. But like you said, you've seen better, and you looked at your own work, and you said, I can do better. Now, if you've had friends that's been exposed to that, then now they have something to kind of judge your work based off of, so then they can see, well, maybe you should do this instead. Maybe you shouldn't do it in the living room. Maybe you should rent out a space. So I feel like it depends. But to answer your question, alone or with yes men, I'd rather be alone. I don't want yes men. Like everything I say, oh yeah, that's good. Like no, you gotta tell me.
Boosting my head up for no reason.
Yeah, right. And now I'm like, now I'm not improving because my friends are saying I'm doing good, so I must be doing good, So I'd rather be alone, and then just figure it out on my own and judge like how you did based off of other people's work.
I think and it's a hard question because my answer is I believe you need both. Like I believe you need isolation, but you also need people in your corner. I don't believe in yes men or yes women. I believe in why. Like, are you telling me why? Like yes and no, but why? So like, for example, if you're saying yes, why is it yes? If you're saying no, why is it no? Because
that's good.
At the end of the time,
that's what I was going to
say. Sometimes you might say yes and it's truthful, and I need a reasoning behind it. So this is good. Why? What aspects of it are good? What aspects of it are bad? Because if someone just says, oh yeah, it looks good, but there's something that they think in their mind that's a no. Or if they want to say no, but then they say yes, the thought process behind it, you got don't just say it's white or black, just give me reasons behind either one.
I got something to add to that. So real quick, I saw a video of this girl. It was a video on TikTok, a mom and her daughter, and the daughter was like really small, could have been like 6 or 7 years old, and the daughter was like, so the mom said, so what did you just tell me, like before I recorded the camera? And so the daughter was holding a picture that she drew, like a little kid's picture, and she was like, well, I don't like when you just say, oh, this is nice, or oh, this is good. She was like, I feel like you're not really looking at my art. She was like, I want you to tell me, like, she's a little kid. She was like, I want you to tell me why this is good. She was like, what is it? Like a little girl, that's like good. Saying this, like, she was like, I want you to tell me, like, is it the color? She was like, did you even notice how I put these two colors in the sunset? Like, and so if a little girl feels that way, and it made me think, like, I feel like we do that to little kids all the time. Like, oh that dance you doing good, knowing they can't even dance. Like, like you know, like we just. And I'm not saying to tell your kids you suck, they suck, but I feel like when it comes to like giving them feedback, like if we as like adults, young adults, we want feedback on the things that we do. Even kids, like they want feedback on the things that they do. Like tell them why they did good on this. If there are things they could do better, say, "Oh, this was really good, but maybe you could do this next time."
That's you know, because they won't even take that bad. Like if you say, like, "Oh, I like how you did that, honey. I like how you really try. You put your effort into it." But like if you did, like, but the reason we don't do that is because maybe we don't.
We think they can't handle it.
We think they can't handle it.
Or even if they can comprehend it.
Yeah, but that's true.
Yeah, you set them up because now when they go into the real world and like, you know, it's a way to say it.
Facts.
So you don't discourage them and say like, this is terrible. Like point out what is wrong. Like even for me, like going back to your question of like, would you rather yes men or to be alone? I would rather be isolated because even when I started with thumbnails, I knew for sure, like I know for sure that I was trash. And so I was just like, I need to keep going. I need to keep working. And like I was looking at people to get inspired. I was asking like my family in the house, like saying like, is this good? And like you'll have like them, they'll say yes because they see you trying. But then it got to a point where like my mom, she'll be like, I don't really like this, like, you know, this could be better. And even like, oh, you know, this isn't, you know, for sure you could have did better than this. Like this isn't your best work. And so like for the multiple times, like I would rather be alone rather than have like a bunch of yes men because it's gonna hype my head up. And that's the same for children. And so like just pretty much like you want to be consistent, you want to be true to yourself, you want to have like discipline, not get discouraged and different things like that. And there's just multiple things that come with content creation. Like it's not just a one night process. Like it doesn't happen overnight. And so kind
of to add what you were saying, you were basically like, my dad used to always tell me it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
My mom too.
So it's like your delivery, like, okay, you see this isn't good, but don't say this is trash. Why would you know? Like say this is nice, but I feel like you could have did this, and like it's what you say. And then I remember like even when I make designs for my clothes and stuff, I'll show my friends and I'll be like, how can I make this better? Like, what do y'all see? How can y'all see this could be improved? And then my friend will be like, well, maybe you should add this and change this. Like he'll be like, my friends will be like, it's a good concept, but just tweak it a little bit to make it better. Even with my models, like my friends will be like, oh yeah, it's a good model, but you could get better, you know? And that's what I want. Like when I show you something, show me how I can make it better. Like don't just say, oh, this is good. No, what can you see from your perspective? Because everybody can look at one thing and have a different perspective about it. True. And tell me how I can make it better. Like even with my clothing brand name, I would tell my dad, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? And my dad would be like, that's not it. Like that's not it. And then eventually, he, you know, all of those, that's not it, led to me having a good name that I like. So.
That's true.
And the thing that you said, the last thing I'll say, like the thing that you said of like saying, like you can say yes, you can say no, but why? I would have like a lot of clients, like they would come to me and be like, I don't like this. And then like now we're stuck because you're not really telling me why you don't like it. You're just saying I don't like it. And to go back to the drawing board, and I don't really know what.
Right, like what don't you like about it?
Like what to go back to the drawing board too. Like you're not telling me what you don't like. You're just saying I don't like it.
That's true.
So
and that, like we all made very valid points, but like just for everybody that's watching this, like we just talked about, it's not necessarily about the yes or the no or the answer that you give. It's about why, but also to leave you guys with this. sometimes it's also about the why, but it's also about who is telling you the why. So for example, like when it comes to content creation, like why are you doing it? Bet you're doing this because of X, Y, and Z. Who are you doing it for?
Right.
This is the audience that I'm trying to target. Or if you're trying to get advice from a mentor or something like that, right? Who is telling me this specific thing? Like for example, if an NBA player, like if LeBron James is telling me, hey, here's how you like if you have a bad jump shot, and LeBron James is telling me, hey, you got to fix da-da-da-da-da, right? I know that he's telling me that because he understands it, and the person that he is, the who, is telling me a good why, so I can then take that and then from there get value from it. So when it comes to content, or when it comes to just being an entrepreneur in general, just focus on the why behind the yes or the no, and then also focus on the who.
That's good.
This is a good episode. This is a really good episode.
Like
Everybody had really good points.
I feel like we all knew what to say in that moment.
We all feeling it, but
we all content creators.
Sure.
But like this was a really good podcast episode. I'm really glad that everybody came on to watch it. If you guys got some value in it, put like what you got valuable out of this whole entire thing that resonated with you specifically down in the comment section. We're definitely going to target it, and we're actually going to talk about it more in podcasts coming up. So
and also comment down below how you can make your content better, because we talked about other people telling us good feedback. So comment down below. How
you're our who that we need to know why you're doing good or bad.
What's everybody's social medias before we get off?
Oh yeah, facts.
Mine is Yanni Bratcher. My personal is Yanni Bratcher, and that's YANNIBRATCHER. And then my clothing brand on Instagram and TikTok is Wise Label. So WISELABEL.
All right, bet. But yeah, my personal page is CEO Ashon, CEOASHON, CEOASHON, and you can find me on every single platform.
My Instagram is at Jael Official, JAELL Official, and my personal Instagram is at IamJada Ellis, JAYDAELLIS.
Yeah, and my business page is Royalty Made It. If you need any kind of form of content, all entrepreneurs and content creators, I'm here. So Royalty Made It, ROYALTMADEIT, and my personal is Royal Travion, Royal TREVION, and we will be back. And we appreciate y'all. Have a great day.